Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my July reading review. In this video, I'm going to talk about all the books that I read in the month of July, which was a very successful month for me. I actually read 13 novels. I actually read 14. One of the books can't talk about on the channel, can't log, can't do any of that stuff. So unfortunately, so it's not going to appear on my Goodreads. It's not going to appear in my Facebook or anything like that. So I'm not counting that book. So really, when you look at it, it's I have 13 reads this month, which is still quite a lot of reads. Some of the books are super short. There's 2 novellas on here and a few novels that are kind of short, but there's also some big, chunky, big, beefy books. I got all types of reading done this month. I had a wide swath of books that I read. I read everything from historical fiction, thrillers, horror, I read fantasy. I read self-pub, trad pub. I read so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the bottom, and I'm going to work my way up, talking about to the best book and what is my book of the month, which it was so hard choosing a book of the month this month, and you'll find out why. So we're going to start with number 13, which is Hide the Lightning. Hide the Lightning. This is actually the last book I completed this month. This is by Kevin Steverson. It's from the Salvage Title universe. I'm a big fan of the Salvage Title universe. I just didn't love this book. I thought it was just okay. Which there was no bad, really bad books this month. So that's actually quite good. That's quite good reading month if none of them are really bad. So this one was just okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I had mixed thoughts on it. It was just kind of in the middle. So yeah, Hide the Lightning was number 13 this month. In about the same spot was Star Wars Honor Among Thieves by James S.A. Corey. I think I gave this the same rating. There's stuff in it I really like, specifically stuff with Han and Scarlet Hark. There's stuff in here I really don't care for. And so the book's just kind of mixed. And so I wish I enjoyed this more. This was the last published book in the Star Wars EU, by the way. Interesting. But yeah, this one was just okay. So that's my number 12 for the month. My number 11 is going to be a big, beefy, chunky book. The longest book I read this month in word count. Not in page count, but in word count. And that is Unbound, the second book in the Songs of Chaos. This book was a little bit better than the other ones I talked about, and I enjoyed more of it, but this book had so much that I wanted to cut. But I did enjoy this book quite a bit nonetheless. I think my review is either out or will be out soon, so I'll go into detail about what I liked and didn't like. One of the antagonists in this book actually is what really stood out for it. So I have book 3. We'll see if I continue on, but that was my number 11 for the month. Now for my number 10. Now we're bumping up. That was like the 3 out of 5. Like, it's fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's just fine. Now we're bumping up into the next realm, which is like the 3.5 or 4 range, where it's like, there's some pretty good books here. They're pretty entertaining. There's some entertainment value. We'll start with my number 10, which is Star Trek Voyager Gateways, book 5 of 7, No Man's Land. Christy Golden wrote a ton of Star Trek Voyager books. There's a reason, because she's great at it, and she gets the Voyager characters like barely anyone else. This book has so much going for it, but also, man, is it all over the place narratively. And it's an ambitious book that tries to do so much in 200 pages. Oh my goodness, did Christy Golden try to do a lot in 200 pages? But this was an entertaining read, and the characters work so well that it just bumps it up quite a bit. So this was a pretty fun read. I gave it like a 7 out of 10, or which is like a 3.5 out of 5. All right, my next book was the most frustrating read of the month because it was looking like a top tier book of the month, and then the last chapter came, and that was Stephen King's The Mist, a book that was so awesome that I was physically angry finishing it because of how bad the ending was. If you want more discussion on that, my book review is either out or will be out soon. But yeah, The Mist. Mm, complicated feelings on this one. Very, very complicated. I also read a Ken Follett thriller this month. This is one of his first novels he ever wrote. This is the Modigliani Scandal. This is about art in Europe, and it's about this painter who has died. One of his old paintings resurfaces. A bunch of people are trying to find it, and then also at the same time, there's people who are making fake paintings in England and selling them as if they were real things. And so it's a thriller. It's really short. You can read it in like a day or so. It's a fun little tiny little paperback thriller, and I enjoyed it. Not as much as I enjoyed his Kingsbridge books, but you know what? If people say this is his worst book, man, does he have a great bibliography. So yeah, I enjoyed the Modigliani Scandal. That's my book number 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. That is my number 8 of the month. My number 7 of the month is a Star Wars novel, and that is Star Wars Death Star by Michael Reeves and Steve Perry. This is the book that is kind of a standalone. Well, not kind of. It is a standalone book. That the first half of it is about like the lead up to the building of the Death Star, and then the second half of the book is just a new hope from a certain point of view. That's really what the second half of the book is. I actually did a regular discussion, spoiler free, over on Caleb Likes Books' channel, and then he and another friend came over here, and we did a full spoiler discussion on this channel. So go check that out. It was a lot of fun to talk about Death Star. So there's that book. I gave this one like an 8. Like it was actually really well done. Had some issues, but was pretty well done. So that is the 7th, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7th best book of the month. Now we're on to my book number 6 of the month. Was a very entertaining read. That was Gregory Michael's Khloes Kingdom. This is a YA science fiction heist, which you wouldn't expect to see all three of those together. You might see a YA heist together, or a sci-fi heist, or a YA sci-fi, but you don't really expect to see a YA sci-fi heist all in the same book. And Gregory pulls it off very well. Very short chapters, lots of fun. Three main protagonists that you're following, although there's a few other POVs, and I'm really excited to get to book 2 eventually because I think that Gregory just has a great sense of adventure in his books that I really like. So that was Khloes Kingdom. That was number 6. My number 5, fifth best book I read this month was Star Wars: The New Rebellion. This was the best Star Wars book of the month, so it only got to 5th place. Woo. But this was actually we're getting into excellent territory. I was surprised how many excellent books I had this month. But Star Wars: The New Rebellion by Christine Catherine Rush, one of the, if not the most underrated Star Wars novel. People don't talk about it, but it's awesome. And The New Rebellion is just it's very weird, but this is one of the few books where they take weird and it actually works. When Barbara Hambly or Vonda McIntyre or Kathy Tyers tried to do weird, it didn't work. When Christine Catherine Rush tries to do weird, it pretty much works. So this was a excellent read, and that's my 5th best book of the month. In 4th place, we have a novella, Small Town Problems by Chris Ritchie. This is a novella that Chris wrote. He sent it into Daniel Green, not expecting Daniel to actually read it. He read it, gave a lot of feedback, and Chris kind of re-edited the book and got it a new cover. And I loved this. Oh my goodness. For a short 140-page book, this has some of the most heart and just great character work that I've read in a sci-fi novella. It is just so impressive what Chris Ritchie is able to do in such a short time frame in this book. So that's why this is my number 4 read of the month. My number 3 read of the month was kind of an impulse read. I was ahead at the time of my reading schedule, and I didn't have the new release out of the month yet. And so I was like, well, I may as well go ahead. I have a lot of time left. May as well go ahead and read a Ken Follett, big, thick historical book. So I read The Armor of Light, which is the 3rd best book that I read in the month of July. This is an excellent historical fiction book, really looking at the Industrial Revolution in Europe really looking at how it affected everyday people, really looking at how it affected their normal lives. I think that the Armor of Light is just very well done. It is not the best Kingsbridge book. It's not even close to being the best Kingsbridge book, and it's still an amazing book. That's how good an author Ken Follett is. That's why that was my number 3 best book of the month. Okay, so I have basically 2 books that I really couldn't. They're so different. They're vastly different styles writing. They're very different genres, but they both were just like any other month. Either if they were separate, these would each be book of the month because they're that good, and they stand up above the rest. But because they came out, because I read them both in the same month, it's like which one do I choose? And so, if Mike from Mike's Book Reviews is allowed to have 2 books of the month, then I'm gonna have 2 books of the month too. So, with that said, my first book of the month I'm going to talk about is Wraithin by Jason Cordova. This is the first book in the Kin Wars saga that he wrote. There's 4 books out. He has 2 more coming up. And this is a superb military science fiction adventure. I thought his character stuff in here was great. His world building, his pacing, his action, his sense of wonder, his sense of pulling in different influences and genres. It's just such an entertaining read. It felt like Timothy Zahn's Cobra series in a few ways. It also felt like a little bit of stuff that other sci-fi authors from Bane books might be pulling in. And then also it's got a little bit of Star Wars in there from the prequels, surprisingly. And it's such an entertaining read. I have the second book on my August TBR, and it is actually the book I'm most excited to read about in August. So I'm really excited for that. But yes, Wraithkin is one of my 2 books of the month. My second book of the month was equally as good, and that is a book that I don't have a physical copy of because it's not out yet, and that is the Blackfire Blade by James Logan. This is a book that's coming out in November. I got a arc through NetGalley, and I read the book, and I'm not talking spoilers, of course. I'm being very careful, but guys, you need to read this book because it's so good. It takes everything I love about the first book, and it really, in a few ways, leans into fantasy elements that I loved. Um, very, very excellent fantasy elements in this book. And it also has just a great sense of adventure like the first book did. And it has such a great minor character in it. It is just the Blackfire Blade is an amazing book, and James Logan has become a must-read author. It doesn't matter what he's publishing at this point. Until he leads me astray, I'm going to be there day one for his books. Which there's authors I've enjoyed their books, but I'm on their day one, for their reads. James Logan is an author. I will be there even if I can't get a copy, early as a reviewer. I will still be there day one for his books because he's that amazing an author. So that is all of the books that I read in July. It was a lot of pages. It was my best reading month in quite a while because April, May, and June saw a significant downturn in my reading because I was very busy in life. I moved, got a new job, had other things pop up in life that I haven't talked about on here. So because of that, I had kind of dipped after an amazing January through March. So this was like back at March levels, back at the beginning of the year levels. And it's not going to be sustained because in August, I have the start of the school year. And it's just not going to, I'm not going to read 13 books. I'm hoping for 9 or 10. We'll see how it goes. But if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What did you read in July? Let me know that as well. And what are you excited to read? And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.